Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, whose true name is Yahweh, through his own begotten Son, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. Shalom to all the brothers pushing this word in truth and sincerity amongst all camps. Shalom to the sisters as well, reverencing their husbands, and if they don't have husbands, doing all that they can to keep the commandments and have faith in these last days. Shalom to the children as well, who are doing all that they can to keep the commandments and have faith in these last days as well, reverencing their parents. And shalom to the nation as a whole, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and people of the Caribbean who are the true Israelites according to the Bible. And so this video is called, Do We Have to Keep the Law in the Bible? Or Do We Have to Keep the Law According to the Bible? Part 2. So this is just a continuation and an emphasis. And so this is just tackling a question that not only Christians, but whoever comes against the idea that we have to keep the law according to the Bible, they present with us. So this is just a video to provide clarification on if we do. And if we don't, spoiler, we do have to keep the law. So let's just get right into it. So first we'll go to the one of the verses a lot of people don't understand. It is Matthew 5, verse 17 to 18. And it says, Think not, this is Yahweh Shai, or who this world ignorantly calls Christ. It says, Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So Yahweh Shai is making it known right here that he is not coming to destroy the law or the prophets, meaning he's not going to destroy anything that the law says or take away what the prophets have said. So it says, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, and this is a question we always ask. We will always ask, has ever heaven and earth passed? And the answer would be no. Okay, so keep that in mind as you keep reading. It says, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. And so they'll go here and say, see, oh, Christ came to fulfill the law. He said he didn't come to destroy it. We agree. But he came to fulfill, meaning he just completed everything, not knowing that Yahushua said he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets, but there's still things we see in prophecy that has not come to pass. So this cannot mean that he fulfilled everything during his first appearance on earth, or in the incarnation of who we know as Christ Yahushua. And so let's just get emphasis on what he said he came to fulfill. So let's go to Acts 3. We will start at verse 17. And it says, And now, brethren, I wot that through ignorance ye did, as did also your rulers. But those things which God before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets, because the prophets spoke of Yahweh Shai, about whom this word ignorantly calls Christ. And it says that Christ should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. So right here, the apostles are letting you know that the purpose of Christ, well, how did I say this? What Christ fulfilled was that he came to fulfill his death, burial, and resurrection, which is why it says, which God before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets that Christ should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. So it says he hath so fulfilled, and before that says that Christ should suffer. This is giving an understanding that what Christ is talking about, that he didn't come to destroy the law of prophets, but he came to fulfill, meaning he came to fulfill the prophecies concerning his death, burial, and resurrection. We're going to prove that. Let's go to Luke 24. We're going to start at verse 36. Jesus, or Yahushua himself, stood in the midst of them and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. So this is after his resurrection. And it says, But they were terrified and affrighted, and supposed that they had seen a spirit. And he said unto them, so Yahushua speaking unto them now, Why are you troubled? And why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold, my hands and my feet, that is, I myself, handle me and see, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. Verse 40, and when he had spoken thus, he showed them his hands and his feet. Right, verse 41, and it says, and while they yet believed not for joy and wonder, he said unto them, Have ye here any meat? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and a honeycomb, and he took it and did eat before them. Now this is the point. Verse 44, and he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you, while I was yet with you. By all things must be fulfilled. Now we're going to see what things were fulfilled, because remember, we saw this same language being used in Matthew 5, 17 to 18. And it says, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. And keep in mind what we just read in Acts 3 and 18. It says, But those things which God did show, which God before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets, that Christ should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. This is just emphasizing the point that Christ's fulfillment he was on the earth was dealing with his death, burial, and resurrection, which he says here, which is why it says, while I was yet with you, but all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me. So what he came to fulfill was his death, burial, and resurrection, which is prophesied. It's written in the law and in the prophets and the Psalms. Let's get more emphasis on that. This is John 1 and 43. That the day following, Yahushua or Jesus would go forth into Galilee and findeth Philip, and said unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip findeth Nathanael, and said unto him, We have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Now let's go to Luke chapter 18, and let's start at verse 31. Right, this is Luke 18 and verse 31. And it says, Then he took unto him the 12, and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophets concerning the Son of Man shall be accomplished. So once again, we see in that same pattern in John and Luke and Acts. Even what Yahushua talks about in Matthew 5 is that he's coming to fulfill the things spoken of by the prophets and in the Psalms and in the law concerning him during his death, burial, and resurrection. He's going to make that clear in this same chapter. Right, we know. Verse 32. For he shall be delivered unto the Gentiles, and he shall be mocked, and spitefully entreated, and spitted on. And they shall scourge him, and put him to death, and on the third day he shall rise again. Showing you that this is what Yahushua is talking about. He came to fulfill. He came to fulfill his death, burial, or resurrection. He gives the details on how this will happen. You'll be delivered up, you'll be mocked, you'll be spitefully entreated, you'll be spitted on. The things we see in the gospel. Verse 33, and they shall scourge him and put him to death, and on the third day he shall rise again. Letting you know that's what he's talking about in Matthew 5. So this is Matthew 20 and verse 17 through 19. It says, And Yahushua going up to Jerusalem took the 12 disciples apart in the way, and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto the chief priests and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and he shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock, and to scourge, and to crucify him. And the third day he shall rise again. The same thing we just read in Luke. So this is showing you through various texts, through various scriptures, that what it's talking about in Matthew 5, he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets, meaning he didn't come to take away anything, to say we don't have to keep it. Because I also did a video on true teachings of Yahushua, how he taught himself that we have to have faith and keep the commandments. When he says he came to fulfill his death, burial, and resurrection, right? Because let's go here in Revelation. It's Revelation 14 and 12. Here are the patience of the saints, and we know that the saints are always Israelites. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and faith of Jesus or Yahushua. Now, why would this be in the last book of the Bible if Yahushua or Christ came to do away with the law? If he fulfilled all of it, why would there even be a reason to include this in the last book of the Bible? All right, so let's go to Psalms now. This is Psalms 19 and 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So if you keep the law, it's going to convert your soul. It's going to make the simple wise. You're going to have wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So why would anyone sit here and demonize the law as if it's bad, right? And so it says the law of the Lord is perfect. And something is perfect, that means that there's no error in it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's literally, it's infallible, if you will. So you have individuals going around saying the law is a burden, it's grievous, when that's not in the Bible. The Bible does not say that. It says the law of the Lord is perfect. And the saints will be keeping the law and having faith of Christ, Yahushua. So let's get this in Romans. This is Romans chapter 7, verse 12. And it says, Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. And individuals like to run to Romans a lot. Well, in the same book of Romans, it says that the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. And Paul even emphasizes that it's not the law alone, but it's faith and commandments. So that's just providing emphasis for the individual, for more clarification on Matthew 5, 17 to 18, that it's about Christ's death, burial, and resurrection. He taught we have to have faith and keep the commandments, and that the law is not done away with. Right? And so with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, whose true name is Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, whose true name is Yahushua. Say, Shalom.